If you go to bed tired, but your brain refuses to switch off. If you wake up during the night, always around the same time. This is not random. There is a biological reason behind it, and once you understand it, sleep becomes possible again. Millions of people wake up at night and feel they can't get back to sleep. It's not laziness, and it's not bad luck. Your body and brain are signaling that something is off. From stress hormones to blood sugar fluctuations and hidden caffeine still in your system. Fortunately, small adjustments can restore deep sleep. Eating the right foods in the evening, like oats, bananas, or a small serving of nuts, helps stabilize blood sugar and supports melatonin production. In the next few minutes, you'll discover why your brain keeps you awake at night, which habits silently sabotage your sleep, and the exact steps to finally sleep deeply and naturally. Insomnia is one of the most common sleep disorders worldwide, affecting millions of people. Many believe it is just a matter of willpower or temporary inconvenience, but the reality is far more complex. Insomnia is not just sleeping less, it's about sleeping poorly, waking up at night, and never feeling fully restored, even after hours in bed. Imagine lying in bed exhausted, your body craving rest, but your mind refuses to switch off. Thoughts race endlessly, replaying the day, planning tomorrow, worrying about tasks. Despite wanting sleep, your brain remains active, and your body struggles to relax. This is not laziness. It is a signal that your internal systems are out of sync. At its core, insomnia is linked to disruptions in the sleep-wake cycle, known as the circadian rhythm. Hormones like melatonin, which promote sleep, and cortisol, which maintains alertness, control this rhythm. In a healthy system, melatonin rises as the day ends, cortisol drops, and the body enters deep, restorative sleep. In insomnia, these signals are disrupted. Modern life has introduced a range of factors that make insomnia increasingly common. Stress and anxiety are perhaps the most obvious causes. Daily pressures, deadlines, and constant mental stimulation can leave the brain in a state of heightened alertness, making it difficult to relax at night. Even when the body is tired, the mind continues to race, replaying past events or worrying about the future. Technology is another major contributor. Artificial light from phones, tablets, and computers suppresses melatonin production, delaying the onset of sleep. Blue light in particular tricks the brain into thinking it is still daytime. disrupting the circadian rhythm. Using devices close to bedtime sends the wrong signals, leaving the brain alert when it should be winding down. Irregular schedules also interfere with sleep. Working late, traveling across time zones, or maintaining inconsistent sleep and wake times confuses the brain's internal clock. The circadian rhythm relies on predictable cues to signal when it is time to sleep and when to wake. Without consistency, the system falters, leading to fragmented sleep and night awakenings. Environmental factors play a role as well. Noise, temperature, and lighting can all affect sleep quality. Even minor disturbances like a faint street noise or bright alarm clock can prevent deep sleep cycles from occurring. The bedroom environment must be optimized for rest to allow the body to achieve restorative sleep stages. Physiological factors are equally important. Blood sugar fluctuations, caffeine intake, and alcohol consumption can all disrupt sleep patterns. Caffeine, for instance, can remain in the body for up to 8 hours, preventing the brain from fully relaxing. Alcohol may make you drowsy initially, but it interferes with REM sleep, leading to lighter and less restorative sleep. Hormonal imbalances, such as elevated cortisol from chronic stress or disrupted melatonin production due to irregular light exposure, exacerbate insomnia. Anxiety and depression can also trigger sleep difficulties, creating a cycle where poor sleep worsens mood, which in turn further impacts sleep. In summary, insomnia is rarely caused by a single factor. It is usually a combination of psychological stress, environmental disruptions, technology, irregular schedules, and physiological triggers. Understanding these causes is the first step in addressing insomnia. Once you identify what is keeping your brain awake, you can take deliberate actions to restore healthy sleep patterns. In the next chapters, we will explore how these factors interact with each other and what practical steps you can take to counteract them. You will learn how to adjust your environment, manage stress, and select foods and habits that support deep, restorative sleep. By understanding the root causes, you gain the power to regain control over your nights and your health. Waking up in the middle of the night is one of the most frustrating symptoms of insomnia. Many people experience this regularly, often around the same time, and wonder why it happens. The reasons are deeply rooted in biology. One major factor is the rise of cortisol, the stress hormone, which peaks naturally in the early morning to prepare the body for wakefulness. However, if stress levels are elevated throughout the day, cortisol can spike at night, interrupting sleep. This hormonal imbalance prevents the transition from light sleep to deep, restorative sleep. Blood sugar fluctuations, can also play a role. Low blood sugar can trigger awakenings, as the body signals hunger or discomfort. Eating heavy meals late at night or consuming sugary foods close to bedtime can lead to a rapid spike and crash in glucose levels, which disrupts sleep continuity. Anxiety and mental overstimulation further exacerbate night awakenings. The brain remains in an alert state, processing unresolved tasks, worries, or stresses. Even if the body is relaxed, the mind prevents full rest. This leads to repeated cycles of wakefulness and light sleep, leaving the person feeling tired and unrefreshed in the morning. Sleep cycles are normally structured into stages: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. Interruptions during the night prevent these cycles from completing, which reduces the restorative quality of sleep. Over time, this pattern can impair memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and immune function. Environmental factors, such as noise, temperature fluctuations, and light, can further amplify night awakenings. Even subtle disturbances, like distant traffic noise or partially open window, can trigger arousal in a sensitive sleeper. Optimizing the sleep environment is therefore critical. It is also worth noting that certain lifestyle choices, such as caffeine consumption, alcohol, or irregular sleep schedules, can intensify these interruptions. Caffeine may still be active in the bloodstream hours later, and alcohol, while initially sedating, can fragment sleep in the second half of the night. Recognizing the timing and pattern of your awakenings provides clues to the underlying cause. For example, waking up consistently at 3 a.m. may indicate stress-related cortisol spikes, whereas other times may point to blood sugar imbalances or environmental triggers. In conclusion, night awakenings are not random. They are a biological signal that something in your body, environment, or lifestyle is out of balance. Understanding these mechanisms allows you to take concrete steps to reduce interruptions, restore proper sleep cycles, and regain energy and focus in the morning. Food plays a far more powerful role in sleep quality than most people realize. While many focus on screens or stress, what you eat, especially in the second half of the day, can silently interfere with your body's ability to slow down at night. The issue is not only what you eat, but how your body must process it while it should be resting. Sleep is a state of metabolic calm. When digestion, insulin release, or nervous system stimulation remains active, deep sleep becomes fragmented. Highly processed foods are among the main culprits. Meals rich in refined carbohydrates and sugars cause rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by sharp drops. These fluctuations signal the brain that energy is unstable, which can trigger nighttime awakenings, light sleep, or vivid dreams. Heavy meals late in the evening create another problem. Large portions, excess fat, or very spicy foods keep the digestive system working when it should be slowing down. Instead of transitioning into repair and regeneration, the body remains focused on digestion. This often results in discomfort, reflux, or restless sleep during the first half of the night. Alcohol is frequently misunderstood. While it may create a sensation of relaxation, it disrupts sleep architecture. Alcohol suppresses REM, stands for rapid eye movement, and increases nighttime awakenings as the body metabolizes it. The result is lighter sleep and early waking, often accompanied by dehydration and fatigue the next day. Certain foods stimulate the nervous system indirectly. Chocolate, sugary desserts, and some processed snacks combine sugar with stimulating compounds, creating a subtle but sustained state of alertness. Even when consumed hours before bedtime, they can interfere with the brain's natural descent into deep sleep. Another overlooked factor is late-night snacking. Eating close to bedtime sends a signal that the body must stay metabolically active. This delays melatonin release and shifts the internal clock, making it harder to fall into restorative sleep stages. Not all sleep disruption feels dramatic. Many people sleep through the night, but wake up unrefreshed. In these cases, food-related sleep interference often occurs silently, reducing deep sleep without fully waking the person. Understanding this connection is empowering. Sleep does not begin when you lie down. It begins with the signals you send your body throughout the evening. Choosing lighter meals, reducing sugar and ultra-processed foods, and allowing enough time between dinner and sleep creates the metabolic conditions necessary for deep rest. In the next chapter, we will look at one specific compound that deserves special attention, not because it is food, but because it directly alters brain chemistry and sleep timing. Caffeine is not just a stimulant, it is a powerful neurological modifier. Unlike food that interfere with sleep through digestion or metabolism, caffeine acts directly on the brain, altering how tiredness is perceived and how sleep pressure builds throughout the day. To understand its impact, it's important to know how sleep naturally develops. As the day progresses, a chemical called adenosine accumulates in the brain. This substance creates the feeling of sleepiness and signals that the body needs rest. When adenosine reaches a certain level, falling asleep becomes easier and deeper sleep follows. Caffeine interferes with this process by blocking adenosine receptors. In simple terms, the brain does not feel how tired it truly is. The body may be exhausted, but the brain remains alert. This disconnect is one of the main reasons people feel wired but tired at night. What makes caffeine especially disruptive is how long it remains active. Caffeine does not disappear quickly. Its effects can persist for many hours, even when you no longer feel stimulated. This means that caffeine consumed earlier in the day can still influence brain chemistry late at night. Individual sensitivity varies widely. Some people metabolize caffeine slowly, allowing it to linger in the bloodstream much longer. For others, even small amounts can significantly delay sleep onset or reduce deep sleep stages. This sensitivity is influenced by genetics, liver enzymes, age, and overall health. Another overlooked factor is hidden caffeine. Many people associate caffeine only with coffee, but it is also present in tea, chocolate, energy drinks, pre-workout supplements, and some medications. These sources often accumulate throughout the day, creating a total load that the brain must process. Caffeine also affects sleep quality beyond falling asleep. Even when sleep occurs, caffeine reduces deep sleep and REM sleep, which are critical for memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and physical recovery. As a result, people may sleep for several hours but wake up feeling unrefreshed. Timing matters more than quantity. Consuming caffeine later in the day shifts the brain's internal clock, delaying melatonin release and pushing sleep cycles forward. Over time, this creates a pattern of late nights, shallow sleep, and morning fatigue. Understanding caffeine's role allows for informed choices. Reducing intake after midday, paying attention to hidden sources, and recognizing personal sensitivity can dramatically improve sleep quality without drastic lifestyle changes. In the next chapter, we will move beyond stimulants and explore practical strategies that actively support deep, restorative sleep. Not by restriction, but by alignment with your biology. While some foods disrupt sleep, others actively support it. Eating the right foods in the evening can stabilize blood sugar and promote the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Foods such as oats, bananas, nuts, eggs, yogurt, and avocado provide nutrients that encourage serotonin production, which is converted into melatonin in the brain. This process helps the body naturally prepare for restful sleep. Oats are rich in complex carbohydrates that increase the availability of tryptophan, an amino acid essential for serotonin production. Bananas contain magnesium and potassium, which relax muscles and calm the nervous system. Nuts, particularly almonds and walnuts, provide healthy fats and melatonin precursors. Eggs and yogurt are rich in protein and nutrients like vitamin B6, which supports neurotransmitter production for relaxation. Avocado contains healthy fats and magnesium, both of which aid in calming the nervous system. Consuming a small portion of these foods in the evening can reduce nighttime awakenings, stabilize energy levels, and promote deep, restorative sleep. Pairing them with a consistent sleep routine maximizes their benefit. Incorporating these foods gradually and consistently can train the body and brain to recognize that it is time to rest. Over time, this leads to longer, uninterrupted sleep cycles, improved mood, memory, and overall well-being. Sleep does not improve through force. Many people approach sleep as something to conquer, going to bed earlier, trying harder, adding rules and restrictions. But sleep is not a task. It is a state that emerges naturally when the conditions are right. At this stage, the focus shifts from identifying problems to removing friction. The goal is not to control sleep, but to make it easier for the body to do what it already knows how to do. One of the most powerful changes is consistency. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time every day sends a stabilizing signal to the nervous system. This regularity reduces internal confusion and allows the body to anticipate rest rather than resist it. Equally important is how the final hours of the day are structured. Sleep begins long before the bedroom. The evening should gradually become quieter, not just externally, but internally, reducing stimulation, simplifying activities, and avoiding decision-heavy tasks helps the mind shift out of problem-solving mode. Light exposure plays a subtle but critical role. Bright environments late at night signal alertness, while softer, warmer lighting supports the transition into rest. This is not about perfection, but about direction, moving from stimulation toward calm. The bedroom itself should feel like a signal, not a battleground. A cool temperature, minimal noise, and a sense of separation from daily stress all help reinforce the association between bed and rest. When the environment consistently supports sleep, the body responds. Another key element is mental offloading. Many sleep disturbances are fueled by unfinished thoughts. Writing down concerns, plans, or reminders before bed reduces the brain's need to stay alert. This simple act communicates that nothing urgent is being ignored. Importantly, sleep improves when pressure is removed. Watching the clock, calculating hours, or worrying about consequences increases arousal. Rest returns when sleep is treated as a byproduct, not a performance. Rebuilding sleep is not about doing more, it is about interfering less. Small adjustments, applied consistently, create a powerful cumulative effect. Over time, nights become calmer, awakenings less frequent, and mornings more stable. This process requires patience, but it works because it aligns with biology rather than fighting it. When the day is structured to support rest, sleep no longer feels fragile. In the final chapter, we will step back and look at what truly changes when sleep becomes reliable again, not just at night, but across your entire life. Good sleep quietly reshapes life. It does not arrive with fanfare, but its effects ripple through every system of the body and mind. When sleep becomes stable, many problems that once felt separate begin to soften on their own. Mornings change first. Waking up no longer feels like a negotiation. Energy returns gradually, without the sharp contrast between exhaustion and alertness. This steadiness carries into the day, improving focus and emotional balance. With better sleep, the mind becomes clearer. Thoughts feel more organized, memory improves, and decision-making requires less effort. Problems that once felt overwhelming become manageable, not because they disappeared, but because the brain is better equipped to handle them. Emotional resilience also improves. Sleep restores the nervous system's ability to regulate stress. Small challenges no longer trigger disproportionate reactions. Patience increases, and mood becomes more stable across the day. Physical well-being follows. When sleep is consistent, the body recovers more efficiently. Inflammation decreases, immunity strengthens, and daily energy becomes more predictable. Many people notice fewer aches, improved motivation, and a renewed sense of physical confidence. Perhaps most importantly, sleep changes how time feels. Days stop blending together. The constant feeling of being behind or depleted begins to fade. Life regains rhythm. This is why sleep is not a luxury. It is a foundation. When it is unstable, everything else requires more effort. When it is restored, many improvements occur naturally, without additional interventions. The goal is not perfect sleep, but reliable sleep. Occasional bad nights will still happen, and that is normal. What matters is resilience, the ability to return to rest without anxiety or frustration. Over time, people who sleep well begin to trust their bodies again. Bedtime becomes neutral, even welcoming, rather than stressful. Nights become quieter, and days more spacious. If there is one takeaway, it is this: sleep is not something you earn. It is something that emerges when the conditions are right. By understanding what interferes with it and gently supporting what restores it, sleep can become steady again. And when it does, the benefits extend far beyond the night, shaping how you think, feel, and live every single day.